exposing Narendra Modi's communal face. Uh, the recent documentary of BBC, which was released on January 17th, in that documentary it has been proved that Narendra Modi, who is currently Indian Prime Minister, was involved in brutal, massive carnage of Muslims in the Indian state of Gujrat when he was the Chief Minister of that state in February 2002, that is 20 years ago. And the Indian government, the BJP and others are furious against the BBC documentary, that how dare they expose Narendra Modi, and they banned BBC's documentary, and that documentary basically was released, was watched and listened by millions of people. It also banned in the social media the BBC documentary and the YouTube channels and things like that. So basically, after 20 years down the road, the truth which BJP, which Narendra Modi tried to hide, that no, they were not involved in the carnage of Muslims and the communal riots which took place after the unfortunate incident of the burning of train in Godhra, in which 90 Hindu pilgrims were killed, and the blame was put on the Muslims, and then the riots took place, and Narendra Modi, communal riots took place. Narendra Modi at that time was the Chief Minister of Gujrat, and he was the one who, according to the BBC documentary, ordered police, law enforcement agencies to look the other way and not to save thousands of Muslims. At least 1,000 Muslims were killed by the BJP and by the communalists in the riots which took place. So that is one thing which is haunting Narendra Modi even after 20 years. And his involvement in the massacre of Muslims in Gujarat in 2002 February was so internationalized that the US had banned the entry of Narendra Modi. He was not issued visa when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. The thing is basically that in the last 20 years, India has transformed from a democratic and secular state to a fascist communal state. And that is something which cannot be denied. And it's not only the Gujarat riots, but also countless steps which have been taken by the BJP government since 2014, when it came to power, up till now, to single out Indian Muslims, lynching of Indian Muslims, razing their homes, destroying their livelihood, and threatening them that the only way for 200 million strong Indian Muslims, the largest religious minority, is either to reconvert themselves as Hindus or to go to Pakistan. And then, of course, it is not only against the Indian Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, even the scheduled castes. So this is one thing which has exposed the communal face of Narendra Modi, but he doesn't care. He is not at all, conscious about the fact that his communal policies and the mindset and BJP and Shiv Sena has put a lot of damage as far as India is concerned. The second thing is that A.S. Daulat, who is a former chief of Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, Indian Intelligence Agency. So, Mr. Daulat, while speaking before the Jaipur Literary Festival the other day, he criticized the Modi regime, that why the Indian government revoked Article 370 of the Indian Constitution, which gave special status to the Muslims of Jammu and Kashmir. And he said that there was no need to scrap that article or Article 35A. And that thing basically led to a situation whereby the valley of Jammu and Kashmir, the valley of Kashmir where the Muslims have a majority, permanently is facing a terrible situation: curfew, lockdown, siege and search operations, you name it, arrest without warrants. So that has not succeeded. The objective of the Modi regime, that it can basically control the situation over there. And Mr. Daulat's assertion that it was a wrong decision, that thing is also subscribed by a number of Indian leaders, political leaders, including of Indian National Congress and the left-wing parties, Communist Party of India and so forth. So primarily the year 2024, when general elections are due, that's the last chance to save India from the perpetual state of fascism, religious intolerance, authoritarianism. Because if Narendra Modi's BJP again wins elections of 2024, then that will be the end of so-called Indian democracy and secularism. And India will then, as was apprehended before, if Modi again returns to power, if he gets the third term in 2024 elections, then of course he will basically implement the age-old dream of BJP to transform India as a Hindu state. Because what it has done in the last 10 years, almost 10 years, that it has planted, it has inducted like-minded people, the pro-BJP, pro-Shiv Sena elements in the Indian judiciary, in the Indian military, in the Indian bureaucracy, even in the universities and colleges. So a country like India, which is so colorful, it has so many religions, so many cultures, so many languages, how is it possible to transform that multicultural, multi-religious state as a Hindu state? That's a question which needs to be contemplated, which needs to be responded seriously. Thank you very much.